So here we go. We're going to take our notes over section 1-2 right now, and we'll move on for that. That's what we're going to do for the second half of the week of August 31st. If I can find my pen, we'll get going. So when we roll through these particular problems, step number one, we're going to distribute if necessary. Meaning we want to get rid of any parentheses we might have, because the parentheses are indicating an operation, and so from there we need to get rid of the parentheses so we can combine some like terms, which is, ironically enough, step number 2. And lastly, after we have those like terms combined, now we're ready to do what we did in section 1-1, and that is solve for the variable. Okay, and so now this is just a long run of problems to work on. So here we go. Again, we are combining like terms. So we see we have a 9x and a negative 7x, and that we have a 1 and a negative 5. So those are going to be my like terms. 9x and negative 7x is one set of like terms. The 1 and the negative 5 are constants. If I put 1 and negative 5 together, that gives me a negative 4. And then we have negative 20. And now we are in a position that we can do exactly what we did on section 1-1. And that is, we're going to isolate the variable by adding 4. And we'll divide that 2 out of there. And we'll find out that x equals negative 8. Number 2, again, we're going to, now we go through, now we'll get to that top step, distribute if necessary. There is a parenthesis there, so we're going to distribute to get rid of it. So 7 times 3 is a negative 21a. Negative 7 times a negative 1 is going to give me a positive 7. So we have to remember to worry about the signs as well. We've got a 91 sitting over here. So now it's the same thing. We're going to isolate a. We're going to subtract the 7, subtract the 7. So that means we get 84 is equal to negative 21a. In my effort to get a by itself, we're going to divide by the negative 21. And so that means that a is going to be negative 4. And again, this is that process all the way through. We're going to have some parentheses we got to get rid of. We're going to combine some like terms, and sometimes we'll have different looks to them. But in reality, it's all the same thing. 4m, and nothing's going to happen to the 4m. Negative 5 is attached to a parenthesis, so we're going to distribute that. That's negative 15m, and that's a negative 50 equals 126. So again, we can combine some like terms. 4m minus 15m is a negative 11m. The negative 50 carries down, and I understand some of us might be able to do multiple steps and multiple operations in one step, but for right now, we won't. Later on the next page, I'll start doing that. So I have to get rid of a negative 50. The opposite of negative 50 is positive 50, so we're going to add that to the other side. So we get negative 11m equals 176. We'll divide out the negative 11, and m is going to be negative 16. So I'm kind of pausing here. I feel like sometimes I roll pretty fast when I write, so I will stall for a little bit, not much. So again, you have the ability to pause, so I guess I'll stop doing this. Again, parentheses. We have a negative 3 times the operation of k minus 8, and we have a negative k sum of k plus 5. So we're going to distribute that. Negative 3 plus 24 is that distribution. And remember, I had the negative 3 times the negative 8, which gives me the positive 24. And then I distribute the negative sign to the k, and I distribute the negative sign to the 5. So that's the unique part about that one, and the fact that it doesn't look like anything's there. There's no coefficient, but in reality, there's a negative 1 there that I'm going to have to distribute. So negative 3k and then negative 1k give me a negative 4k. And 24 minus 5 gives me a 19. So again, it's that same exact process all the way through. Now we can isolate the variable, subtract the 19 over. We're going to get a negative 4k is equal to a 4. I ran out of room, so we're going to move up here. Negative 4k is equal to 4. We're going to get k by itself, and we're going to do that by dividing out the negative 4. So that means that k is equal to negative 1. To be bluntly honest, I started through this video. I've already done this problem once, but then I realized that somehow the video didn't start, so I'm having to redo this. I'm looking back at my old problem that I did, and I did it wrong. So I'm just going to put that out now then. Sometimes I do make mistakes. I'll glance over them pretty, I mean, it happens to all of us. So, you know, a simple sign mistake. The conceptual mistakes are the ones that I worry about. If it's just a sign mistake, then life happens as long as it doesn't happen frequently. Then you know, it's a win. We'll get there. Anyway, 10x, nothing happens with the 10x. We're going to distribute a negative 6. That's a negative 12x and a negative 30. And I get a 20 on the left-hand side. So that means that we can combine these x's. 10x minus 12x gives me a negative 2x. We're going to add the 30 over. So 50 is equal to a negative 2x. We're trying to get that x by itself, so we're going to divide by a negative 2, and we'll go outside the box here, but we'll say that negative 25 is equal to x. And we have that solved. Okay, moving forward. And again, I think these are organized like this. I can't remember the exact Cornell, maybe? Yeah, there we go. Steps to, we have examples out here. So if you have some notes that you want to take as far as things that you want to jot down, that's a good place to put those as we go through there. 8 times 2 is going to give me a 16w. 8 times negative 1 is a negative 8. So we distributed the 8, and then we got a negative 4w and negative 116. So combining those like terms, 16w minus 4w is going to give me a 12w. We've got the minus 8 that we didn't have to do anything with, and then we're ready to solve. We're going to add 8. We're going to add 8. So 12w is equal to negative 108. And again, all these are kind of working exactly the same. It's just that repetition that we need to get that done. 108 divided by 12 is going to be a negative 9. All right. This is another one we have to remember to distribute the negative sign. Here, I got that note out here. So remember to distribute negative sign. Negative 2h and a positive 1 when I do that. All right, we'll start ratcheting it up. We'll start doing multiple operations on a step. Meaning I'm going to take 11h minus 2h. That's going to give me a 9h. At the same time, I know I need to subtract over a 1. So 9h is going to equal 117. Okay. I need to divide that 9 out of there. So h is going to equal 13. All righty. There it is. Sorry, I'm losing track of my papers. Next one, negative 25. Distributing half of 10 is going to give me a 5x. Half of negative 2 gives me a negative 1. And then we got the positive 3x. So I know I'm going to combine the 5x and the 3x together to give me an 8x. I know I'm going to have to add this 1 to the other side, so that's a negative 24. And now we just have to divide the 8 across. And so x is -3. More of the same. So here we go. 7 stays out in front. We're going to distribute to 5 halves. Now this one gets a little bit funny because 2 is, I mean, we could go ahead and multiply this. 5 times 8 is 40. Half of 40 is 20. So that may be the best way to look at it. We could have also taken 2 goes into 8 4 times. 4 times 5 is 20. Another way to get to the same answer. So 5 times 6 is 30, but then half of 30 is 15. So that's going to be a positive 15. We've got a positive 2r sitting there equals 32. And I realize that I'm off the screen, and that doesn't do you much good. Like terms, -20 and positive 2 give me a -18r. Since I have two constants on this side, I'll go ahead and put those together now. I've got a 22. I need to subtract the 22 over. So -18r is equal to 10. And we're going to have to divide by that 18. So -18r is equal to 10. We're going to divide that -18 out. And we end up with r equals, we have to reduce 10/18. Some of us can look at that and go, oh, 2. So 5 and -5/9. Real fast, let's run through how that breaks down, just because it may have been a while and we may not even understand the mechanics of what we did. I know that 10, if I broke it down into its prime factorization, is 2 times 5. If I went up here and I split up 18, here, we'll do it over here. 18 is 2 times 9. 9 is 3 times 3. So I know that 18 is 2 times 3 times 3. And what happens is when we simplify a fraction, my 2's are going to cancel. Like factors cancel, so I have a 5 in my numerator, and we have 3 times 3, which is 9, in the denominator. So when we simplify a fraction, that's what we're doing, is we're canceling out like factors. Anyway, moving on. And the only thing different here is now we have to translate this. Okay, 5 times the difference. So it's 5. We're having an operation of times on another operation, the difference. So that means that this is going to involve parentheses. So 5 times a difference of twice a number in 3. This is decreased by the sum. So again, since it's an operation, it's parentheses, it's going to be a sum of the number and 8. All of this equals 13. And now it's just, again, that additional step. So 5 times 2 is going to give me a 10n minus 15. We have to distribute that negative sign again, so that's a -n and a -8. And then we have a 13 out there. So 10n minus n gives me a 9n. -15 and -8 give me a -23. And again, it's the same exact process we've been doing the whole time. I'm going to get that n by itself. I've got to get rid of the -23 by adding 23. 9n is equal to 36. We're going to divide that 9 out of there, and n equals 4. Okay. Pause this for a second. Okay, we are in the home stretch here. Number 7. Actually, we the numbering got off a little bit. We've already done a number 7, so we've got 6 extra problems here to do. So we'll get through those, and we'll call it a day. So 15, we're going to distribute a -5. So that'll be a -20c and a +35. and that is going to equal 50. Again, this is all. Tell you what, um, I will just, like you can hear me. I don't know. I don't think I need to. Yeah, I don't think you need to hear me walk through this. So I am going to pause my video making. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. No. Yeah, I'll just pause my video making and then give you a chance to work on this yourself. And then I'll just flash up the solutions. And because all of this stuff you've heard me run through before, they're all similar problems to what we've done before. And that way you have the solutions key for your notes. But I would try to do them on your own first, and then you can see. Okay, I'll turn it back on here just because I have the first four done, and that way I don't have to zoom out. We can leave you on this. Again, you can always pause your screen if you're wanting to see steps. Hopefully I didn't make a mistake, and we have some right answers there. So I'm going to pause this again, and I will come back shortly with the last two answers. And there's the last two. And so actually, I believe your homework assignment is pretty short for this section. There's only 6 problems you need to do. Again, so if you're an A kid, um, I'm going to see 1 and 2 done. On section 1.1 and 1.2, I will check for completion on Tuesday. If you are a B kid, I will check for 1.1. I don't know. Nah, we need to get in the pattern, but I will check. Hopefully, I can check 1.1 on you for Friday. If not, the following Friday we'll do 1, 2, and 3. But we gotta get used to having some due dates here. So, all right. Feel free to email me or communicate with me in any way so we can get you straightened out and don't ride the struggle bus long. All right. Let me know. All right.